Obviously, conceding an early goal on the road is not the formula for success. I thought it was a scrappy goal. Probably we can do some more to try and just do emergency defending, get that thing out of there. Second goal's kind of similar. Can I get a better clearance on the ball? Can we possibly head back? Can we make sure that we're tight? And then he hits a top class goal. But that's what happens when you give those guys space. So to go down 2-0, I thought we really responded well in the second half. I thought we started pushing the tempo of the game, started moving the ball a little bit quicker, started to look a little bit more intense, more like we had the possibility of scoring a goal. So second half was better. Overall, disappointed with the result.
Thanks, Walker. We'll go ahead and open up to questions, starting with Valère. And Valère, go ahead and ask two if you have them. Thanks.
Hey Walker, BJ talked about maybe the speed and the pressing of the Red Bulls, kind of something that you can't really replicate a whole lot until you experience it. And you had a couple of newer players maybe and a new team altogether really playing. Do you think there were anything you could have prepared for before getting there tonight? And was there anything you could have done maybe better to prevent that, or is it really just experiencing that and that's kind of the growing and as a team, not just you personally?
Yeah, I think we could have done a little bit of a better job on the in-game adjustments. We did adjust, obviously, in the second half. We tried to change some of our build-up in the first half and had some success. I think the downside of it was just we let up the early goal. So we had plenty of moments where we were, we talked about how important the bounce would be in this game, just with how they press. And I thought we actually broke through their press quite a few times. But then I think we failed to really push the tempo once we did, or have some clear attacking opportunities once we did break it. Obviously, they turned us over plenty of times, especially early in the first half. But we did a better job in the second half of trying to continue to have bravery, build out of tough situations, and ultimately broke their pressure quite a bit. That led to some better chances, or at least transitions. So, I think we made some in-game adjustments. It's just when you go down in the first 7 minutes, you're behind the eight ball a bit.
And then in terms of Corcoran and Meyer coming in kind of on the younger side and playing their first MLS minutes, and even the newcomers just in general, do you as a captain feel the need to go and maybe talk to them after the first loss and maybe offering them some words of advice? If so, what would you say to somebody in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, we've already had conversations in the locker room. It's about keeping momentum that they've had since preseason. I mean, they're not going to be defined by one game. They're not going to be defined by one play. They're playing for a reason. They've earned that, and so it's a matter of learning and continuing to evolve. And so, those guys are top pros. They're the hardest critic, their own hardest critic. So they're obviously evaluating their own game, but it's our job to continue to encourage, continue them to want to play, want the ball, regardless of whatever happens. And I think we can even do a better job on field of communicating some things to them earlier. Whether that is some rotations, getting them out wide and build up, whether it's getting them closer to us to help with second balls, and ultimately just communicating throughout plays, especially in emergency defending. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of responsibility on everyone. Those guys, again, top class, and we're going to keep going as a group from it.
We'll wrap up with Jacob James and two questions. Jacob, go ahead.
Yeah, Walker. BJ has said in the past to us that he thinks the middle of the season is a really underrated part of the season. It's when you guys really want to be at your strongest as a team. Is that something you have to remind yourself after an early season loss? And I guess maybe what are you guys doing right now to maybe ensure that you are kind of reaching your peak as that middle of the season comes?
Yeah, I think it's tricky, right? Because it's professional sports. You're evaluated on wins and losses, and total points gained on the table. I think when you look at a loss like this, you have to look and say, yeah, we didn't get 0 points. Did we at least build on something? Did we improve? Did we find positive moments to look at? And it's like, yeah, we did. I thought we did improve from half one to half two. It doesn't make it acceptable at all that we lose games. I know it's going to happen, but that's not the standard that we set for ourselves. So Did we want more than 1 point through 2 games? Absolutely. Are there still things that are positive? Yeah, like our bravery to build out of probably the highest pressing team in the league and do it well on many occasions. It's can we then limit some of the times that we don't build out well? But plenty of clips to highlight and things I'm sure we'll check out in film and look at the times that we were unable to do it and find the reasons behind it.
Yeah, and I guess how much of just your kind of maybe improved performance in the second half of the team, getting more chances. How much of that was maybe kind of just things you were able to do mentally to settle into the game, and how much of that was maybe strategic or differences in build up, like you mentioned earlier?
I think it's both. I think, we have to also consider the score line. Were they pressing with the same intensity or the same consistency as they were the first half? Maybe, maybe not. I do think the biggest change for us was getting into a little bit of a better shape when we had the ball and using the bounce even more effectively was a big key there. And then ultimately the tempo. I think we played a lot more 1-2 touch combinations, switched the ball a little bit faster. And when you do that over and over, it's going to make them drop their press a little bit. And so I think that was a big reason for the success in the second half.